Ireland.
How did you keep Randall under control today?
I think that going into this game, all week long, we were anticipating, inclement weather, from all the way from Tuesday. We were kind of tracking that, and we thought that, there wouldn't be a bunch of runs to the out on the edge today. We thought that most of the runs would be to the inside, and I think the defense did a nice job of making sure that he didn't have any cheap bounce out runs, and did a better job of tackling.
Would you say that your defense played their best tonight this season?
Well, I mean, that offense they're going against is one of the best. It was the best statistically in the country, but it's one of the best offenses we're going to go against. And, I'd have, coming out of that game, if you tell me that we're going to hold them to 20 points, I'd say sign me up 100 out of 100 times. So I'd say that the defense, we should be very happy with the performance by the defense.
Sometimes you make a change, it's not necessarily what the person does who goes into the game, but what everyone around him does. Hawthorne effect. Is that what happened with Michael coming in, just everyone had a bounce?
I kind of dialed up the call sheet already. I mean, I was grasping for what can I get to get going. I mean, we ran option pitches, we ran Jayhawk, we ran, multiple personnel groupings, and after the first quarter where, you have 100 yards of offense, really, after the first break, we didn't do too much. And then after halftime, I felt we were kind of flat. And the only way, if you don't have much inventory left on the call sheet, okay, the one thing you have going for you is you always can change the personnel. And, I agree with you. I thought that when Michael's play as he went through after the first drive and the second drive, when we picked up the tempo some, I think that Michael's play sparked the team some. Now, of course, he was helped by that number 29 out there. He kind of helped the team some too.
How much notice did Michael get that he was going in?
He knew probably a series at least before that happened. It wasn't like, okay, you're in now. He knew that we were going to go at least one more series of one mentality of offense. And if we didn't get anything going there, we were going to give him a shot and see if we couldn't change it up some.
Do you know who will be starting at quarterback against Oklahoma?
It's 7:22. It's 7:22 after an 18-hour game. No, at this point. But I think you have to, you have to honestly evaluate where you are right now and what gives you the best chance of winning. And whatever that answer is, that's where we'll go.
Obviously, you haven't had a chance to look at it again yet, but having a guy like Mike that can move around in the pocket, it's a lot more mobile than what you've had. How much does that open things up for James? And I mean, it seems like in that fourth quarter, he really got going with that threat of the mobile quarterback.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a different style of quarterback, but it's also a different style of plays. I'm going to a different inventory, so you're going to a whole stash of things that you kind of have sitting right there so that, hey, you have to prepare as the play caller for a different style of quarterback. You can't just come in there and dial up the same plays, because you have to put him in a comfort zone, something that that you have to feel that he has a chance to operate in, because he doesn't get nearly as many reps as the first guy during the week in practice.
How difficult was it to make that change, just given the history of Dayton and how it came?
Hey, it's difficult to make it, but really, this is about the team. This isn't about the player. This is about the team. What's going to give the team the best chance? And at the time, I thought putting Michael in there might provide a spark. And after that first drive, when we really didn't do too much, it certainly did provide a spark and gave us an opportunity to be in position, to have a chance of winning the game.
Can you talk about the fourth down that you didn't get, 2:50 left or whatever it was, where Michael overdrew Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, he had a little pressure. I think he had a little bit more time to throw it. than he thought he did. But you know what happens is, once again, it comes with a little bit more experience. You know, because he's made that throw 100 times, you know. He's got a guy coming in his face a little bit from the right side, and he's swinging it out there for the first down. And he's under a little duress, you know, so, you know, but, you know, I think that he's the reason why we're in position to win the game. So, you know, rather than me look at him and say how disappointed I am that we didn't score on that drive, without him, you know, we wouldn't even have that conversation.
How about the first series he was in? It seemed like then the line just stopped blocking and they were.
No, we didn't say, okay, Mike's in, stop blocking.
Well, no.
No, that wasn't exactly the way it worked out. No, we had a sequence of plays in there from huddle plays. We have huddle plays and no huddle plays. And we had a sequence of plays in there that, you know, just, you know, they brought a lot of heat up the middle on at least the first couple of plays, and that didn't get handled real well. And, you know, one time I think he, you know, probably could have stepped up, but once again, I have to wait till I see it, because I have to go see it. But that's why I went out of that tempo after that drive. I went out of that tempo and went to a different tempo where I could kind of simplify the defense, and it did, and gave us an opportunity to make some plays.
How do you think your team handled that along the way? Do you think that changed the course of the game at all?
But obviously, they handled it much better than we did. You know, but both teams have the same delay. You know, I like to sit there and make excuses, but I'm sorry, that's not in me. I mean, we both had the exact same delay, and we were informed, you know, game management, it was handled great. I mean, we knew exactly what was going on. Both teams knew exactly what was going on, and I guess me and Mike kind of communicated through game management about shortening the halftime from 20 minutes to 15 minutes, you know, because we had just had that long delay, you know, right at the end of the first quarter. But, you know, I don't think we handled it as well as they did. Just the fact that we come in down 10-0 at halftime, that would indicate that.
What's your philosophy with something like that? Do you let these guys be by themselves a little during that delay, or?
We had a whole game plan. They were coached exactly how we were going to handle it if there was a delay. So everyone knew, here's what we're doing. Come in, take your shoulder pads off, get a clean shirt on, get a towel. Coaches stay away from them. And then when we start to get within the 30-minute, when we start to get within the 20-minute mark of actually being able to play, then we'll meet offensively and defensively, and then I'll meet with the team with 5 minutes to go. So we had a whole game plan, and every time we were about ready to get ready to talk to them, it got rebooted to a new 30 minutes. So, but everyone was clear. The whole team knew exactly what the procedure was going to be, and they knew how we were going to handle it. So that really never came into play.
Sims threw some nice blocks, protecting the quarterback, 42 yards in reception, 138 in rushing. How good a football player is this guy?
Not bad, huh? He had a good day at the office. I mean, he really did. He had a full day, and he played tough, and he played physical, and, you know, I think the best part about it is sore as he should be, he feels worse, you know, emotionally than physically, which that's a good thing. Because this one, hey, look, they all hurt. They all hurt. But this is the first time we've gone out in the fourth quarter and played like a team that wants to win. First time since I've been here. You know, that it was that. If you ask anyone who was the better team in the fourth quarter, I'd be surprised if anyone would pick them.
We've heard you talk about teaching opportunities many times. Is this? Do you feel like it's maybe finally taken a bit?
Well, we talked about the fourth quarter. That was my subject in the locker room, and I told him what I just told you. I said it's the first time since I've been here. I said, you know, we've blown games in the fourth quarter. You know, we didn't rally in the fourth quarter. Today we rallied. You know, and the defense played well, the offense made plays, and the kickers. How about those two? You know, those young kickers. I mean, that's one thing you can't go unnoticed. I mean, they were out there, they had a couple touchbacks. The punter, I thought, did a heck of a job for his first time out there punting the ball. I think that was, it was the whole team. And I feel really bad that, we drive down there and we were just being methodical. Because I'm trying to use whatever was left on the clock, I was trying to use all of it in the drive before the end of the game. I was trying, because I didn't want them as quick as the firepower as they had. I wanted to try to score when it was next to nothing on the clock. Then we didn't make a play on fourth down, and maybe we get the ball back at the end. I had already drawn a couple plays up in the dirt, just so you know. Just like you would. I said, okay, if we get the ball back on our own 10-yard line, here's the first play, here's the second play, and they're drawn in the dirt. Now, of course, we know what they are, but they weren't on the game plan. They weren't things we practiced in 8 weeks. But they were based off of what they were doing. They were good plays to attack what they were doing.
Do you see the rally that you guys did in the fourth quarter? Do you see the team coming together and taking that with them to Norman when you guys face OU?
Let's hope so. Let's hope so, because all I know is 36-2 at halftime of that game. That's real encouraging. I don't know what the final of the game was, but I do know it was 36-2. But I'd like to think that hey, look, they're all miserable, and that's good. Because I'd feel really bad if they felt good about losing. They're all miserable, and that's a good thing. But it's a different type of feeling in the locker room today. Because in the fourth quarter, I mean, this was not a team that was waiting for something bad to happen. For the first time, this was a team trying to make something good happen.
When did you decide or know that Tony wouldn't be able to go today?
More in warm-ups.
Yeah.
He looked like a one-arm bandit to me, And I'm looking at him saying, this game's gonna be a pounded, methodical game. And, he practiced all week and, didn't miss any practice time. It just didn't look to me like this was the type of game to play him in.
Talk a little bit about the fan support you had today through the delays. It's not a lot there, and the weather had a lot to do with that, but it seemed like when Cummings came in the fourth quarter, the crowd really responded to him.
And I greatly appreciate that. As a matter of fact, I did something I don't ever do, is after the alma mater, we were leaving, I walked back and I clapped to the students to let them know that, I appreciated they were still there at the end of the game. Doesn't make a difference how many, it's who they are. And there are a lot of fans on our home sideline that were there too, and that's a good thing. But that doesn't surprise me, because ever since I've been here, the fans want a reason to root for you. They do. When the weather's bad, the weather's bad. There's nothing you can do about it.
The changes at the two kicker spots, was that injury situation with Ron or performance or something?
He's a little banged up, but I needed to do something anyway. We couldn't, as I told you just can't stay status quo. But he is a little banged up.
What's the status of Tunde, and how'd you feel like Jake Love played today?
Tunde had banged his head during the week, so it was one of those ones where in today's age of football, if you bang your head and get a little woozy, you just don't play. Because it's just not, it's nothing that you can mess around with. So that was precautionary, because really, when you get banged in the head and you're not feeling right, then you don't play. What was the second part of the question?
Oh, how did you feel like Jake Love played today?
I just know that he was very, very active, and he looked like a sore puppy, in the locker room after the game, because I looked at him, he looked like a guy had just gone 15 rounds.
Bradley went down twice. He jogged off. Is it
Yeah, it looked to me like he got a little bit of a shoulder the first time, so he probably got it again.
okay.
That's probably what happened, but, you're gonna have to hold him back to keep him from being out there, he wants to be out there. Anyone else?
Maybe mistaken, but it looked like Coach Campo was down on the field at some point during that second
Oh,
quarter.
that's because they came down at halftime,
Hmm.
and then they got the ball back. You know, we went three and out, so we punted, and then they returned the ball to midfield. So he came down, because he's coming, the coaches usually come down a couple seconds beforehand if they're not on their side of the ball. So when offense got the ball, he headed down, figuring that the clock would be run out by the time we came back, that we wouldn't go back on defense. You know, I would prefer he would have stayed upstairs so I didn't have to hear him yell at me, you know, for the fact that they tried a field goal in the last play of the first half.